verse 11. And a great earthquake shall there be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and signs shall there be from her. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Word Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird. I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is a sit-down lesson outside today on this November 23rd, 3:08 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Wednesday afternoon. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads, and it says, this is from RT.com. It's published November 23rd, 2022, of alternative world news around the world. And the highlight of this news article, it reads, a strong quake shakes Turkey. And it says the joint. And it says the joint that left 22 people with injuries in a region of east of Istanbul, officials say. And it says a powerful magnitude of a 6.1 earthquake has rocked Turkey's northwestern province, including several people were included. It says one said to be seriously conditioned. It says knocking out electricity. And this is days after, I think like day before yesterday, what happened over there in Indonesia. I think it was like a 5.6 magnitude of an earthquake. And like 250 people were killed on that. So I just wanted to add a note to that and continue with the reading. And it says a powerful 6.1 magnitude of an earthquake has rocked Turkey's northwest province, injuring several people, and including one said to be serious condition and knocking out electricity across the region. And it says the quake struck early on Wednesday morning. It centered on the town of Gorka, if I pronounced that right, but was felt some 200 kilometers, 125 east of Istanbul, the capital, according to the Turkish Disaster and Emergency Management Presence. And it says the agent said the first quake was felt by at least 35 smaller aftershocks, triggering a panic as many people rushed out of the building into a earthquake-prone region. There were no immediately reports of major damage. And it says Turkey Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu told local media that 22 people were being treated at the hospital. It says some of whom were said to have leapt from the balconies and windows, fearing that buildings might collapse. He added that at least one person was in serious condition, though offers a few others details about those injuries. And this is ILKHA at Twitter. It says footage shows a people in children panicking as they pour onto the streets after an earthquake with a magnitude of a 5.9 struck town in Turkey's northwest Dustus province. And this is I don't know if it's like aftershock. So that was a little 7-second clip right there. And it's another one right here, I believe. I guess that was the after effects of the 6.1 magnitude earthquake. It started from a 5.9. It started from a 5.9 magnitude earthquake to a 6.1 earthquake. And that 26-second clip right there shows the after effects of the earthquake over there in Turkey. It says, while the U.S. Geological Survey recorded a 6.1 magnitude event, local disaster officials placed the primary quake at a solid lower 5.9, while the European Mediterranean Seismology Centers reported a 6.1 magnitude, and it struck a depth between 2 and 10 kilometers, which is 1.2 to 6.2 miles. And they say it's a massive quake. Providence killed some 800 people back in 1999. Wow, that was a long time ago. It says, which was preceded by another tremor in nearby Russia, Providence, same year, which at least 17,000 were dead. And that's a lot of people back then that happened. It says a local officials said most of the buildings destroyed or damaged in the 1999 quake was forfeited when they were rebuilt, suggested that they may have helped to reduce damage in Wednesday's job. Right, because I believe it was 2 earthquakes. One was a 5.9, and then another one was like a 6.1 magnitude of an earthquake. So yeah, and I'm gonna bring out 2nd Ezra chapter 2nd Ezra and verse. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 1. Oh, that's Exodus. Let's say 2nd Ezra, Salakia. 2nd Ezra 9, verse 1. It says, he answered me and then said, measure the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest the parts of the signs pass before I have told thee before. Right, because the Heavenly Father's told us to look for these signs, and we measuring the time diligently. And what we see in these signs increasing, with these high impact increases or these earthquakes in diverse places around the world. We seeing the signs with on November 8th, the blood moon signs, in previous years as well too, all the way until now. That's why we're measuring the time diligently, because we, the Heavenly Father said there was gonna be signs, and that's what we are seeing, and these signs are definitely increasing, especially upon the earth, and in the skies and upon the earth as well too. 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and say, measure thou the time diligently itself, and thou seest that the parts of the sign pass, which I have told thee before. Right, the Heavenly Father told us before these things, and that's what we're seeing on this modern day today. In these modern current times, we're seeing these things, And 2nd Ezra 9:2. Thou shalt understand that is a very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? Because the Heavenly Father is visiting this world which he made with these heavy earthquakes, these tornadoes, these heavy floodings, these increasing numbers of magnitudes of earthquakes in diverse places around the world. What happened over there in Greece was a 6.1 magnitude earthquake. What happened over there in Indonesia was a 5.6 magnitude earthquake, and it caused some significant damage. It was like, first it was first reported 50 people had died, and then 160, and then it went up to 215 people dead. So that shows you that the impact of these earthquakes could cause some serious damage. Now, there's going to be times when these earthquakes might not cause significant damage, but then there's going to be times when these earthquakes are increasing. To see these earthquakes and magnitudes are increasing now, so more than ever, 2nd Ezra 9:3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people of the world, right? And that's what we're seeing. You know, we're seeing these earthquakes and uproars in the people in the world. You know, so we seeing, you know. So yeah, these things are definitely going to increase, you know. And I'm going to go back to Luke 21:11. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 11, in the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, "And great earthquakes shall there be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven." Right, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing these signs, you know. We're seeing signs upon the earth, and we're looking up and we're seeing these signs as well too. We're seeing these increases of earthquakes in diverse places. As I mentioned before, I brought out that news article, and including with the recent earthquakes been increasing as well too. I believe it was a 7.0 earthquake over there in the Solomon Islands, and then it was a 5.6 earthquake over there in Indonesia, like I mentioned before. That caused some significant damage. And then it was an earthquake over there in Greece. And then I believe it was a earthquake 6.3 magnitude earthquake over there in Chile. So we're seeing these earthquakes, diverse places are increasing on the planet Earth. We're going to continue to see it increase more and more and more. You know, we're going to continue to see the famines.
You know what my granddaddy did? My granddaddy told me never to trust a woman. Never trust a woman. It's a man's world.
Famines and pestilence. Right, we're seeing continued famines. We're seeing the continued pestilence.
It's a man-made world, man.
It says fearful sights and great signs shall be from heaven. Right, so we're seeing great signs, fearful sights as well too, especially with these weather conditions. You know, seeing chariot sightings as well too, you know, but that's for another topic at hand. But as far as, like, you know, the weather conditions that's taking place on the planet Earth, with these heavy droughts we've seen this past summer over there in Europe, heavy weather, cold conditions, we're seeing these famines, we're seeing these pestilence increasing. I believe it was a news article. It says from the health organization, I believe they say it was a new code word 19 sub V word is gonna increase as well too. And then it was gonna be like a triple one of those that's gonna start to increase, because we already see what's going on over there in China with those cases are starting to go back up. You know, because I read an article on that I said about earlier today. You know, and they saying that code word 19 is going out of control back over there. They saying continuing increasing lockdowns over there, and then you seeing protesters. They doing protests over there. You know, I guess they can't stand a minute being locked down, being in the house and stuff like that, because those cases are starting to go back up. So that shows you what times that we're currently living in, you know, with the famines and pestilence, like I just named, and the increases of these earthquakes in diverse places. You know, you're going to see more of these signs starting to increase now, so more than ever, you know, and expect to see more of these increases of these earthquakes in diverse places, especially recently with the increasing of these earthquakes. I say they've been increasing on basically like on an everyday basis. I say for the past like 5 or 6 days, you've been seeing a non-stop increase of these earthquakes in diverse places. You're going to see a strong increase in magnitudes of these earthquakes. And I believe I did a video, say about 2 or 3 days ago. I believe it's on Monday. You had like a earthquake over there in Portland, like the upper northwest region over there. You've been seeing like earthquakes like every hour or so. It was like a 5.7 to like a 6.0 magnitude. No, 5.7 to a 5.9 of a magnitude of an earthquake over there in the region of Oregon, or the upper northwest. because you know it's you usually hear like earthquakes like in California in the West Coast region, or like Texas, or you hear like places earthquakes in diverse places around the world as well too. So you're going to see an increase of these earthquakes in diverse places as well too. And these tornadoes, these heavy floodings, these heavy earthquakes. So these things are going to increase more and more and more. And that shows you the signs of the times that we are living in. Because these events on the planet Earth has definitely been increasing, especially throughout the whole year of 2022. In the next these last 2 months of this year 2022, we're going to see some more activity take place on the planet Earth, especially with that announcement of that December 13th of that central bank currency as well too. And that's in the book of Revelations 13 and verse 16, that MOTB, that Quran season. So we're going to see that as well too. But in the meantime, that's another topic at hand. But as far as you're going to see more and more and more increase of these earthquakes in diverse places around the world, and it's going to increase now so more than ever. So with that, I hope this sit-down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles who are millstone Christians, word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, Christian word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, Christian word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and above.